Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hephaestus Challenge Gold League. Welcome, everyone, to twitch.tv/The Rob and Dan Show, as well as twitch.tv/Imagine42. To see all of the action, you can go over to robanddan.tv/live. With me, as he has been for the entire tournament, Fourth Oracle. Good afternoon, Oracle.
Good afternoon, sir.
This is the big one here. This is the day of days, a red letter day, if you will.
Yeah, this is it. This is what the Hephaestus Challenge has come down to. Every team in the gold bracket has fought to be here hard. They came from a pool of 14. We're down to 6 teams. That's less than half.
A lot of teams have been cut. A lot.
Yes. A lot of teams that I feel like deserve to be up there just didn't make it because that's the way a tournament is. Not everyone can be a winner.
No. This is going to be a very tight bracket, folks. Over on Imagine Stream, he's going to have the Merrymen and Sky Invading Rhinos, and then the winner of that goes on against HRA. For our side of things, we have Thralls versus Cake, and the winner of that goes on against the Riders. Very exciting day. We're already getting set up for Thralls versus Cake. We should be starting here very shortly, if I am not mistaken. It looks like the teams are, for the most part, ready to go. We are missing one person on Fox's ship. It looks like we've had a couple fill-ins from the Overwatch side of things, assisting the Cake folks. It's so exciting to see Cake in such a high-grade tournament situation. No one thought Cake would make it this far, but they really have done an amazing job to push their way into the Gold League.
They've really stepped up. I've been impressed with the way they've been playing this entire time. But this is a gold bracket. People can't test out new builds. Cake, they experimented before, but they've locked everything down, and I doubt we're going to be seeing anything too off the wall besides what we've seen before. It looks like we're getting, look what they're pulling out on the slice of cake. If they don't, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept this. The Carronade Flamer.
Cara Flamer is very strong on Canyon Ambush. It's very risky to ground out. And fires, when you have them, especially on a Mobula, such as the Arcane Bolt, fires can be very hard to control. Mobulas are not easy to engineer on.
Yeah, fires are a big issue on Mobulas, especially if one of them is taking a buff kit. I imagine, Fiasco Total, I'm guessing he's going to be on the balloon side because they want to buff the balloon. He's going to have a wrench. He's not going to have a mallet spanner because he wants to take the buff kit, but he also wants to make sure he can deal with fires. So triple chem spray. This is going to be very scary for the Arcane Bolt. The Arcane Bolt is really going to have to win it in that first fight. And what's it got as a flare launcher on that 5th side? Yeah, they're going for the Brawlbula that is standard for the Arcane Bolt.
I believe they have called this the Globula in previous weeks. The Glow Water Thralls version of the Brawlbula.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it's always been the Arcane Bolt for Graphic Sturdy.
Yeah.
And we also have the Crown Tyrant, of course. Gap Mortar, Pyramidian. What's Q Fox P? Okay, so this is interesting. So the first map is going to be Canyon Ambush.
I like this choice. I like this choice by Fox. This is an amazing disable setup that, if used correctly, it is going to keep the Crown Tyrant out of this fight. The Crown Tyrant relies directly on making sure both those guns are available in a timely fashion. And if the Mercury and if the Artemis are both firing on target, I highly doubt the Crown Tyrant is going to be able to keep the Metamidian combination available. Yeah,
the Mercury Artemis is much more flexible than something like the Hades Echidna.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons you take it over the Hades Echidna, is because if you end up getting in close, I mean, you still have some sort of disable power. Mercury is probably not going to do much unless you can line it up perfectly, but the Artemis is still going to be able to disable things and you can back up. And because there's no arming time, you can get point blank. We are getting underway. Canyon Ambush is going to be our map. It is a bit of an odd map. You have lots of open terrain to the north and to the south in each spawn. So if you have a sniping setup, you can lock people down. But in the center of the map, you have plenty of canyons, very tight quarters, and it's very difficult to fight in this area. Also, you have the ground that comes up very, very high compared to the other spots on the map. So grounding out is very dangerous.
It can be. We are getting into it here in just a few moments. We'll get loadouts going. Let's see that hype train rolling in chat, folks. This is it. This is the Gold League of the Hephaestus Challenge. Starting out with Cake, we have Q Fox P in the Murray. It's a Pyramidion with that Artemis and the Mercury on the front for disable power. Also with a Flamer and the Carronade on the side for support. We also have the VSS Slice of Cake, piloted well, by the leader of Cake, James Tiberius Kirk, flying once again competitively after a long absence. It's a Pyramidion, Carronade Flamer on the front with that light flak in the third spot for extra hull kill potential. Go ahead, Oracle, with the other side of things.
For the Glowwater Thralls, we have the Crown Tyrant, a Pyramidion being piloted by none other than Scrimscraw, Gat Mortar, forward setup with a Flamer and a Flare Launcher on the port side, and on the opposite side of the normative spectrum, we have the Arcane Bolt, a Mobula being piloted by Graphic Sturdy. On the top deck, we have a Banshee. Lower decks, we have a Mortar and a Gatling. On the far side wing, on the port side, we have a Flare Launcher, and on the other side, we got a Gatling for a potential Quadfecta. Unlikely, but plenty of kill potential there.
I love the Arcane Bolt. We see it so rarely in competitive play, but it's so much fun. It really is. This is one of the ships that we have seen on and off for nearly a year with the Glowwater Thralls folks, or at least with Graphic Sturdy. He loves his Mobula. Doesn't always get a chance to bring it out, but when he does, he enjoys it.
We see it most commonly in Northern Fjords because it just naturally, I think the Mobula just naturally does well on Northern Fjords because of the really high flight ceiling and the clouds. Oh, yes. It allows it to ambush really well, something that the Mobula in most other circumstances can't do. But in this case, the Arcane Bolt is a hard counter to the Slice of Cake. It's like, okay, you're getting fire going, you're getting, Carronade going, whatever, I don't care, I'm going to kill you. And already we have a charge coming out from the Glowwater Thralls. They want to pin Cake into their spawn hard. However, the Murray is going to make that difficult.
The Crown Tyrant has already taken a couple shots. I certainly think Cake is making their presence known with those long-range hits. Murray being incredibly accurate, although no disables yet on the Crown Tyrant. It looks like the chain to the folks of the Arcane Bolt. Main engine is already down.
They're okay. Oh, unless they bump. This is a big mistake. Now the Murray...
Oh, they bump again!
On it. Oh, this is so bad. The armor is not doing great. Their main engine is still down. Their top deck engineer, I think he jumped down to try and help with the armor. They expected it to go down. There it goes.
First hull break.
It's going to come in. There it is.
That's some good shots right there. That's a third of the Arcane Bolt's hull gone already. And some engine damage, too, that is going to take a few moments to get repaired.
That was a massive mistake, backing up into that big pillar. And that's going to cost them. I mean, the Mobula doesn't have very much hull as it is. It has just enough to keep itself together in a nasty situation. But with its hull already damaged, this makes this Mobula very difficult to work with.
This is going to be a tricky situation for the Arcane Bolt. As you were saying, with the short duration, the very short duration that its armor was down, its hull took a third of its health off. It lost a third in just a matter of moments.
Well, that's a testament to how little hull the Mobula really has.
As well as how solid charged rounds are in that Mercury field gun. Yes, Rotted Beef is using charged rounds in it. He has control of the Mercury as well as the balloon for Q Fox P's Murray.
Important to note, Fluffy Hecha is running burst rounds in that Artemis instead of Lesmok, because they figure they're not going to be engaging at like Battle of the Dunes level. Crown Tyrant, though, coming in from the side. Glowwater Thralls might actually have made a mistake here. Crown Tyrant coming in, Gatling going down, not able to bring down the armor of the Slice of Cake, and now the Crown Tyrant is going to bump right as its armor goes down. Hull at half already. Arcane Bolt coming in behind the slice of cake, but can they make anything of it? Crown Tyrant's armor comes back up, but it's eating fire. It goes right back down. First go going to Cake. The Murray picks that one up, but the slice of cake is in a bit of trouble. Arcane Bolt having trouble keeping Arc on the slice of cake, and instead of rising up to meet it, it drops down defensively, but it goes right into the arms of the Murray, who is firing Artemis shots and trying to disable those engines. The Arcane Bolt is really just popping up and down, trying to buy time.
Murray's having a field day with the Glowwater Thralls. And now Slice of Cake's turning to deal with the Arcane Bolt as well. With those disable shots coming in, all the guns are still up on the Arcane Bolt, but I'm not sure how much longer that's going to be true. It looks like chem sprays were not too good on the Arcane Bolt. We have fires starting up all over the place.
Holy cow.
The ship.
That's everything. Armor down. Hull's getting shredded. Banshee's coming out as a little bit of defense, but that's not going to matter a whole lot, I don't think. Hull is almost gone. Everything is burning that can be burnt, and the Arcane Bolt goes down 2-0 in favor of Cake.
What just happened?
The Glowwater Thralls, I think we just saw the Glowwater Thralls biff their first flank of the Hephaestus challenge. I think like the only time we saw a mistake like this was the final week of the group stages when they didn't have their regular captains. That's the only time we saw a mistake like this.
Crown Tyrant is edging its way forward. It looks like it's going to sit and cover here behind these rocks. Certainly, I would not think they would engage in this situation. A 2-on-1, as solid as a Metamidian might be, it simply can't survive a solo charge against the Murray.
No, it can't. Especially when the Murray is allowed to have pot shots on you. And that was what really hurt them. I mean, the Crown Tyrant came in from the side, but the Arcane Bolt just was not fast enough getting in there. I think they overestimated the speed of the Mobula. It's not like a Pyramidian where they can really charge it in like that. They can't stagger that hard. They have to be much more careful with these engagements. And Cake doesn't feel pressured at all right now. I mean, the Glowwater, like you saw this. I mean, the Glowwater Thralls, they weren't searching for Cake in the canyons. They went straight to Cake's spawn.
Yeah,
like they wanted to try and pin them down and meat grind it.
Murray is sitting a little too far forward. They're getting really close to the Crown Tyrant, though. Obviously, captains do not know where each other are, but this could be a really bad situation for the Murray with those medium range weapons. Crown Tyrant might have a solid ambush on him if they go through here. Murray needs to back up. Murray, get back. There they go. Fox has realized his mistake.
Yeah, they're just poking out right now.
Look at the Arcane Bolt's position here. They are sitting high, so it's going to be a little more difficult for the Murray to hit those components. It's a very good choice by Graphic Sturdy. Sitting high is one of the best ways to avoid some of those Merc and Artemis shots, because the up and down arcs, while they're okay, they're not good on either weapon.
Yeah, they're coming around. Okay, the Glowwater Thralls were waiting for the clouds, but the Murray does get the spot. Look at that. Just like you were saying, the Mercury is having trouble hitting the Arcane Bolt when the Mobula is that high. Murray is going to rise up and try and hold down the Arcane Bolt, but the Crown Tyrant is getting ready to come in as well. It's throwing moonshine into those engines. And the Glowwater Thralls, they want to make something happen. Arcane Bolt getting Gatling going on the slice of cake. They're actually charging past the slice of cake right into the Murray. This is terrifying for Cake.
Crown Tyrant has had most of its guns disabled, but Murray's in a little bit of a tight spot here.
Oof.
Oh my
Where are your chem spray cycles, Thralls?
I do not know. The Crown Tyrant is entirely locked down right now. They can't help the Murray, the Arcane Bolt rather. Murray is in some little bit of trouble here with those close range weapons grinding him down.
Look at that.
On the Crown Tyrant.
Yup, now it's a 2v1. Arcane Bolt slowly turning, trying to get arcs on the Murray again, but there we go. It's taking a minute, but that thing turns horribly slowly. The Murray eating double Gatling, but its armor's holding just fine. The Gatling is too far away. Arcane Bolt switching targets to the slice of cake. Crown Tyrant eating quite a bit from that Pyramidian, but it's a disabled Pyramidian. It can't pick up the kill fast enough. Armor down on the slice of cake. Banshee and Mortar gonna come out. All they need is the Mortar. Arcane Bolt picks up the kill. And now the Murray is left all alone, though it is being shown the bad side of the Crown Tyrant. I don't think they're going to be able to make too much of this.
I don't either. With the Arcane Bolt sitting that close, those Gatlings are going to cause major issues for the Murray. Cake needs to find a way to salvage this situation. Oh my goodness.
Whoa! No! The Arcane Bolt rose up, trying to block the Murray and stop it from getting away.
I think I know what
bumped into
happened.
his ally. I see it too. Right? We'll talk about it after. Right now, though, the Crown Tyrant eating fire. Everything is burning except one of its engines. This looks like it's going to be 4-1 in favor of Cake. Here comes the Ram. Crushes him against the wall. Slice of Cake just turns around.
Kirk loves that Ram. He would never miss an opportunity.
Cool guys, don't look at explosions. Just kind of tapped him into the wall and turned away.
So here's what happened with the Arcane Bolt, folks. The Murray was trying to get away and above by going over the top of the Crown Tyrant. Arcane Bolt did a hydrogen rise and actually got caught and pinched between the Crown Tyrant and the Murray. And with how low their hull and their armor was, it was an insta-gib.
Well, the Murray rammed the Mobula once hard, and because the Mobula is so light, it didn't actually slow the Pyramidion down that much.
No.
And so, like, mass is important in this game. Then the Arcane Bolt, like you said, its armor was low. It got bumped into the Crown Tyrant, and then a second ram came out from the Murray. The Murray just hit him again, and like the hull was at like 2/3, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was crazy.
That was a huge miscalculation. And now Cake are looking to pick it up. It's 4-1.
This is crazy. Again, this is a best of 3. So it's still anyone's matchup here. There's still at the most 2 games left to play. If Glowwater Thralls lose this, then win the next one. With that being said, though, I don't think anyone thought Cake would be able to put it together against Glowwater Thralls.
Well, the Thralls are just sort of throwing themselves onto the knife of Cake over and over. I mean, usually, I'd say on any other day, the Glowwater Thralls should be able to take this. I mean, they're getting the flanks they need. I mean, usually when a team sort of holds a position like this, the Glowwater Thralls come out on top because they can flank so well. But in this case, it's not working.
The Crown Tyrant has exposed itself, as has the Arcane Bolt. Cake is choosing their targets. It looks like Slice of Cake is going to try to deal with the Arcane Bolt. Crown Tyrant is getting shot at by the Murray, but Arcane Bolt is going to get dangerously close to the Murray. And with that low hull of the Murray, this is going to be a very risky situation. Gatlings are opening up. Murray is trying to rise out of the situation, taking pot shots on the Crown Tyrant. They are losing their balloon. Chem sprays were not on the Crown Tyrant again. Murray is hurting. They go down.
Too much focused fire. The Slice of Cake now has a good angle on the Crown Tyrant, but it's a disabled Pyramidion. It has Flamethrower and Carronade. It cannot disable both ships fast enough. Its armor's down. Mortars coming out. Banshees are landing true. The mortars are a bit wide. It's going to buy the Slice of Cake a little bit of time, but I'm not sure for how much longer, unless the Crown Tyrant gets in the way of the Arcane Bolt.
They're out of range of that Gatling. The Gatling is out of range. Murray has spawned back in. This, if Glowwater Thralls decide to pursue, this could be the last kill of the game. Arcane Bolt is still getting in really close, though. It looks like Slice of Cake is going to do... What are you going to do, Slice of Cake? They're doing a little bit of a crazy oven. They're going to go in below the Arcane Bolt and try to disable it while the Crown Tyrant sweeps in on the Murray. Bad situation for the Murray, but they're going low below arcs.
It's fine.
My goodness.
Great move from the Murray, running below the Arcane Bolt and Crown Tyrant. Fire's going out of the Arcane Bolt. Armor's down. Almost everything is burning. Only one engine isn't on fire. That's one turning engine.
Arcane Bolt
is in trouble.
They're in deep trouble right now. Just getting that balloon back up, but fires are not under control. Crown Tyrant getting hit from behind by the Murray. They have clear shots in that engine column. Crown Tyrant has one gun left, and it's on fire. Balloon's on fire. Hull's on fire. Everything is on fire.
And the Slice of Cake is fine. Gatling coming in from the Arcane Bolt, though. It's finally gotten its crap together, and it's turning hard. Armor down on the Crown Tyrant.
There it is!
That's going to be it. The Murray picks it up with some quick Artemis shots.
Cake wins game 1.
I did not see this coming.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow. I don't think anyone expected that.
I can't believe it. Like, both ships had chem spray, but it didn't look like either of them was using it. And I mean, if you don't chem spray against Cake, you gotta expect this outcome.
You have to wonder what's going on, because chem spray, Cake's bringing fire to the game. They're bringing something that is going to light your ship on fire. If it's a flamethrower, if you're going into brawl, you have to chem spray.
Mm-hmm. But you saw consistently, whenever the Slice of Cake managed to close distance, they got flamethrowers going out, and everything was on fire. I mean, how many times did we see like a full sweep of fire on a ship?
Oh, multiple times. Yeah. I think part of that is being complemented by the Murray, because those disables from the Mercury and from the Artemis are breaking up the chem spray cycle and forcing engineers to use a mallet hit instead of hitting the chem spray. So I think there's a little bit of synergy going on between these two ships, but either way, amazingly well played by Cake. I think Glow Water Thralls are going to pick it up here. The next map is Northern Fjords. They're very strong on Northern Fjords, so we'll see exactly how this goes.
Yeah. Surprise! Wow. So looks like are the Glow Water Thralls doing it?
They are.
They're pulling it out. They're pulling out the wizard.
It's the wizard, and they're keeping a watch on it.
Oh no! They're not. Oh wait, no. What's going on?
Requiem for Lucy.
Okay, they're swapping over. Graphic Sturdy is passing off the captain slot to Fiasco.
Aha!
And they're going for a Blenderfish.
I don't think that's their actual loadout. I don't think that's the right. Yeah, they're going for their Pyramidion, the Masso. Got it.
Okay.
Metamidion.
I think like when they're backed up into a corner like this, I mean, they just need something that's going to be reliable. And double Gat Mortar Pyramidion is going to be reliable. You stop looking at one of those Pyramidions for too long, the other one comes in and gets a kill. That's what they're really going to be looking for.
Yeah, it's for Cake, they have to get those disables. If they're sticking with the Murray, which I think is a good idea, they need to get those guns disabled. And hey, if you can get a set of engines, one of those Pyramidions disabled, good on you too. But really, those guns need to go down. They have to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm wondering if Cake is going to keep these loadouts, because one of the things about Cake is they're very versatile. They're willing to change loadouts. We saw different loadouts pretty much every week in the Hephaestus challenge, didn't we?
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if we got, I'm not sure which map the third map is, if it goes to a game 3, but if the third map is a close range map, I wouldn't be shocked if we actually saw, Kirk's bringing out in the trunker. We've had a switch up. Double Merc on that left side with Banshee, a Carronade, and a Flamer for support. Kirk loves his junker.
We saw this a little while ago. You remember this?
Yep.
You remember? I remember the double Merc side junker with a brawling side, perfectly able to fend for itself, but also at long range if paired with an Artemis or something like that. Something that can shred hull.
Yep.
It's excellent.
And guess what? Guess what? The Murray, it looks like Fox is sticking with the Murray. We have an Artemis. We have a Mercury on there as well. So you have 3 Mercuries and an Artemis pointing in the exact same direction at long range. That's not good. That's very dangerous.
That's terrifying.
Update from Imagine Stream.
Sky Invading Rhinos 5-3 in their first match.
Oh, well, they were able to take a hold of the Merrymen there. Okay.
That's close, 5-3. Though. 5-3.
Yeah, no, that I need to rewatch that game, because that is going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. Merrymen go on to
last map's Dunes.
Number 2.
Alistar is letting us know last map is going to be Battle on the Dunes.
Okay, so that's not good. That's not going to be a close range one.
No.
It looks like Cake's having communication issues. Not exactly sure what's going on, but they need to get that sorted out. We have 1 minute of flex time left in the pregame here. Again, the map is going to be Northern Fjords. Oh, my goodness. Still recovering from that last game and then trying to figure out exactly what happened. Still, I'm really concerned for the Glowwater Thralls with what happened with the chem spray cycles. So we'll talk about that in a minute here once we get in the game. But for now, we're going into Northern Fjords here. Oracle, tell us about the map.
This is one of those maps where any style of play can work. You have a very high flight ceiling, but you also have a lot of junk at the bottom. If you do bottom out, that can be very dangerous. You have very large pieces of hard cover, but you also have plenty of clouds, especially near the top and the bottom of the map, that you can use to approach from any angle if you know what you're doing.
Righty, we will get loadouts here very shortly. We're actually doing right now. Murray, first ship for the cake side of things, piloted by Fox. Artemis Mercury on the front of that Pyramidion with a flamer and a flare for support. We also have the VSS in the trunker, a junker piloted by James Tiberius Kirk. On the left-hand side, I do. Left-hand side is double Mercs for long-range superior firepower. Front's a Banshee. The right-hand side is Kara Flamer for the brawling.
And for the Glowwater Thralls, we have the Crown Tyrant, a Pyramidion being piloted by Scrimscraw. Gap mortar forward with a flamethrower flare on the port side. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then we have the Masu, another Pyramidion being piloted by Fiasco Total this time. Traffic Sturdy up on the Gatling and a mortar on the other side on the front. And we have another flamethrower flare launcher on the port. These are no-nonsense Pyras.
I see what's going on here. The Massa is made to be a distraction for the Cake team while the Crown Tyrant is sweeping in from the flank. Crown Tyrant is going to have an extremely easy time. Here it comes, sweeping in, has not been spotted just yet. Oh my goodness, Cake, get the spot going down. They know it is. They know what's going on. Crown Tyrant is going to be a very deadly opponent in the situation. Murray's trying to rise above, but Crown Tyrant matches the Hydro almost exactly. Murray gets just a little higher than its opponent. In the trunker, also under pressure by the Masso.
Armor's up. Armor's up on the VSS in the trunker, but the mortar brings it down. Not quite able to finish it off, though. It's at just above half permahull. Crown Tyrant and the Murray still going at it. Artemis able to disable those guns on the Crown Tyrant, but the Masu has come up for support. Armor down on the Murray. Mortars coming in, but they're going wide.
Those are not great mortar shots. In the trunker is trying its best to get back into this fight here. Flamer shots are starting to land on the Massa's engine column. Oh, they did not have perfect chem sprays. No,
yeah, they did. They're fine. One fire.
Not too bad. Crown Tyrant, on the other hand, has had its balloon set on fire, but that's the only thing. Oh, no, they've had multiple fire sets. Whoa.
Everything except for one engine on the Crown Tyrant is burning right now. They have got to get that under control, but the in the trunker is not going to allow them to do that. The Murray now coming up behind the Masu. Suddenly, the Glowwater Thralls have lost control of this engagement. The Masu is taking permahull damage. They need to get the armor back up, but the in the trunker is throwing out fire onto that Pyramidion. Guns, engines burning. Crown Tyrant just barely able to get things back under control. Their engine column is doing better, but now the Masu is in a lot of trouble. Gatling going down on the Murray. Murray backing up, not worried at all. They're using that Artemis to keep control of that engagement.
Murray's in the perfect situation right now. It's drawing backwards, letting its range do the work. Now it's going to dip under, and it's getting shot.
And look what it's firing on.
So yes!
Armor not looking great on the Masu. It's about to go down. The flamethrower is a little bit short, a little bit high, but the armor's down. Artemis goes wide. Here comes another. Armor comes back up just in time, but it's not enough. The Murray gets the kill, and now the Crown Tyrant is over the Murray, but I don't know if it can finish it off. Gatling is landing true, but the in the trunker is landing Banshee shots on the Crown Tyrant, and it can't turn. 2 engines are down. It's its turning engines. It can't get arc. The in the trunker is coming in hard with the disable.
This is incredible. And just to focus a moment on the incredible, not just piloting, but the engineering on these 2 cake ships. Both of these cake ships are still above 50% permahull when they got ambushed by a Metamidion.
2 meta
Think about that.
The Murray now getting easy shots on the Crown Tyrant. The Masu spawns in as close as possible. They want to come in to try and save their ally, but the Flamer's going out. The Murray's getting Artemis shots in. I think the engines are going to be okay aboard the Crown Tyrant, but one is still down. I don't know if they can run. The Murray is getting easy shots in the engine column. Masu still about 1 kilometer out.
There's
Armor
those
down
engines.
The Crown Tyrant. No
Crown
engine.
Tyrant has nothing.
It has absolutely nothing. Armor comes back up. Balloon is at less than half. The Murray is going to continue locking it down as the In the Trunker loads up the armor with Banshee.
Kirk's playing with them just a little bit here. I don't think they want to finish off the Crown Tyrant just yet. They want to see if they can draw the Maso into this fight and maybe get a 3rd kill. It's not coming, though. They're finishing off the Crown Tyrant. Cake gonna go up 2-0 in this 2nd game in the series. Cake could beat the Glowwater Thralls on their home turf.
It's possible. Flamethrower going out. In the Trunker, going right in between. Look at that. Look at that piloting. That's pretty. That's some pretty flying right there.
Yep. In the Trunker is happy to just keep the Crown Tyrant occupied as long as it can, although...
Masu coming in on the Murray, though.
Yeah, it's been drawn into this fight. Masu getting in really close. A dangerous situation for the Murray. Armor goes
down.
Mortar shots are loading in.
Goomba Stomp. Throwing the Murray back down, doing a lot of hull damage. The In the Trunker has got to finish off the Crown Tyrant really soon here. But it has disable weapons. I think it's just going to disable the Crown Tyrant right now and then rise up. It's got to. Or else they're going to lose the Murray. The Masu has gotten the better of this Pyramidion. It was able to close distance pretty easily.
Yeah, Murray was just not prepared for that charge through the clouds from the Murray. They knew, the Glowwater Thralls knew where the Murray was in this situation. Armor's taking some serious damage there. Gatling loading in. Murray is loading a little bit of moonshine there to try and get out of the way. Mortar shots are missing, but those Gatlings are still hitting very accurately.
Ooh, hydrogen being burned by the Murray, but that's going to take it out of the way of the In the Trunker. It's not going to be able to get any help from that Junker. It's just buying time. This kill is taking way too long because chem spray cycles are up on the Crown Tyrant. That flamethrower is not doing nearly as much as it should.
Yeah, this is not a good situation. This is the risk of bringing a heavy disable build. If you can't finish the kills up, Murray is gone. If you can't finish these kills off quickly, you can just out-tank your opponent.
Yep, I think it was a big mistake from Cake to split up like that. These two ships need each other. They rely on each other. And when they split up like that, the Metamidians are going to beat them every time. Crown Tyrant right now, they're leaving. I think they're just leaving their front guns down. No, they're up. They're leaving their side guns down. They're just concentrating on their engines.
Murray spawned back in. They're taking some shots at the Crown Tyrant. Masso moving in on the in the Trunker. Not a great situation. Oh, God!
The hull value on a Junker is so low. Now, the Murray in quite a bit of trouble.
What? Are they getting in close?
I think they're just trying to run underneath the Masu. They're just trying to buy time. It worked. It worked, but the Crown Tyrant is going to be right on their tail. Still, though, it's going to be slow. The Crown Tyrant has got to kind of move around these pillars just barely. Wow, that was close. But the In the Trunker is right there. It's turning its double mercs on the Crown Tyrant. I think that Cake wants to try and finish off this Pyramidion quick.
It makes sense. You're going to have 3 mercs and an Artemis pointing at a single ship. Murray, though, needs to be able to tank this damage. Murray is actually in a lot of pain. Their armor is going to go down. Mortar shots are hitting. This is a bad situation for Cake. Murray is gone.
1-3. This is what the Glowwater Thralls wanted on the last map. This is what they could not quite get going. This was what Cake was able to stop. But now that the Glowwater Thralls have a foothold in Cake's spawn, they can just keep this grind going. This is the danger you take when you take a long-range Pyramidion.
Absolutely.
This is the risk you run.
Murray has spawned back in. It's most likely going to sit back just a little bit and let the Junker come to it.
Maybe.
Possibly. Cake is a little split up here. I'm not liking this split in range.
They keep splitting.
Cake.
They keep splitting. These two ships need to hang out close to one another and cover one another. That's how they were able to turn the first engagement in their favor. Now in the trunker, dropping down, they do have shoot vent. That's what they're burning to try and get out of the way. It's working okay, but the Crown Tyrant is trying to close distance on the Murray, and it's working. The armor on the Crown Tyrant is holding just fine. Artemis comes out, trying to disable those guns. There we go. Gatling down. Ram going to come out, though, and it's going to damage the armor of the Murray badly.
In the Trunker has actually maneuvered itself to get those Merc shots on the Crown Tyrant, but it's turned to try and deal with the Masso. It looks like Masso is actually moving in on the Murray as well. Not what Cake wanted at all.
Now the Murray is able to drop down, get the balloon in the way. Gatling not quite able to do it. Goomba Stomp goes down, but that just allows the Murray to get back to the safety of its ally. Flamethrower going out on the Murray, lighting a couple of nasty fires, but one of those guns not going to be too difficult to save. 2 engines on fire, though. That's the bigger problem.
The double Mercs in the Trunker are doing a half-decent job of disabled. Some Merc shots missed, though. Not what you want in this kind of very close-range situation. Murray, again, getting pressured. Armor going down. Mortars are landing. Murray could go down. There it is. Oh.
It is so dangerous to take this long-range build against a double Pyrrha. It's so dangerous, and we're seeing that right now. 4-1 in favor of the Thralls. Crown Tyrant turning in the Trunker. There's no way. I don't think that this Junker can get out of it. It's not fast enough. Double Gatling is going to be plenty to bring down the armor. They're burning shoot vent, so they're able to drop down. They're getting the balloon in the way of those Gatling shots. They're buying themselves some time, but I don't know if the Murray has enough just raw damage potential to stop these 2 Pyramidians.
It's going to be a very tough situation. As you mentioned, the Junker is not a strong ship.
Oh, there it is.
Armor is still
almost
on the end. Wow.
Ooh. Balloon's going to block it, but now the balloon's down. They're dropping hard. And now the Crown Tyrant and the Masu are they behind that spire? The Murray is managing to keep arcs on the Crown Tyrant. If Kate can just throw the Thralls out of their spawn, they may have a chance, but one of those Mercs missed because the Murray is trying to get out of the way of the Masu. It is once again running underneath these Pyramidians, but it can't keep stalling for time like this. Every time it does this, it ends up splitting itself from its ally Junker. And I think we're going to see the exact same thing we saw 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
again.
In the Trunker, getting focused and getting bumped around by the Crown Tyrant. The Brawl side not engaged on that Trunker just yet. Murray has gotten out of range of the Masso and is playing with it, looks like, trying to get what disables it can, but the Gatling's coming into range as well. Junker not doing well either. A couple fires start on the Crown Tyrant, but nothing too bad.
They're not bad
at all.
Oh, well, the balloon's going to go down. This will buy it some time. The Carronade definitely helping with that. Now the Murray getting arcs of the Crown Tyrant, but it's going to give the Crown Tyrant a target, and that's what it wants most. Murray gets the ram. Armor doing okay, but the armor on the Murray goes down. Crown Tyrant held just fine, and that's going to be it 5-1 in favor of the Thralls. That's what the Thralls wanted.
Yeah, that ram by the Murray at the end is exactly what they wanted. It put it in the perfect position to get killed. It stopped it dead in its tracks where it couldn't maneuver. That was one of the things that really kept the Murray alive when it did stay alive, was its maneuvering capabilities. So the fact that they stopped it dead in its tracks and then were able to focus it down, easy 5th kill. We're going to move on to game number 3. I believe that was on Dunes?
Yes. Last match is going to be Battle on the Dunes.
Long range map. Very long range. So we'll
Round
see
3
exactly.
hype.
What's that?
Round 3 hype. Who's hyped for this match?
This is a lot more exciting than I thought we'd ever get to see. This is top-notch action.
Oh yeah. This is what we were hoping for.
Absolutely. This is going to be great. Comments in our chat room there over at twitch.tv/The Rob and Dan Show. People are saying that the Art Merc is kind of a weird combo. I disagree. I really like the combination. I think it's a solid mid to long range combination.
I think it's solid. I think it's solid. But Sammy BT points out Light Carronade is so weak against Pyrrhas. It's so true.
Yes. That's 100% accurate. It's so hard to hit that balloon of a Pyramidion, especially when you're hitting it from the front or the back. Well, back not quite so much, but definitely the front, where Pyramidion is usually charging you. You usually can't hit the balloon. It's mostly hull there. And Carronade going into armor, it's not that good at it. It's meh, it's okay, but it's not good.
Now, our last match is going to be Battle on the Dunes, but these teams are too good to give us a boring match, I don't think. No. I fully expect some really, really great action here. I mean, the Glowwater Thralls, they're not afraid to close distance on this map. They are experts at using the cloud cover and using hard cover to sneak up on their enemies. One of the really cool things about Dunes is the way that the clouds move. The clouds are always moving. And if you know what you're doing, you can cloud hop your way all the way across the map.
It looks like we are sticking with the Trunker with its double Merc and Caro Flamer sides. Murray has not decided just yet. They are still thinking it. It looks like Fiasco Toll is bringing out the Caro Fish, or at least some version of the Goldfish. He hasn't confirmed just yet. Oh, we have confirmed.
Looks like they're ready.
Yeah, Blender Fish is in order. That is going to be very dangerous against the Junker. Very dangerous.
Yeah, I think that ship is specifically to counter the Junker. If they can just stick the Junker on the ground, they'll be fine. What I can see happening is the Glowwater Thralls splitting right now. We are getting underway, though. Battle on the Dunes, home of snipers, unless you're the Glowwater Thralls. Very, very wide open. You have clouds and dust storms that roll in from the northwest that roll down to the southeast. But that's about all you have for soft cover. They're constantly moving. You also have a couple of pieces of hard cover. You have the battleship in the northeast. You have the Leviathan in the northwest. And then you have the Ribs in the southeast. And then off to the south, you also have one last bit of cover. But besides that, very, very open.
We are getting started here. First off, the Murray. We have seen it before in the last few games here. Q Fox P, or just Fox, piloting this Pyramidion. Artemis and Mercury on the front. Good loadout for this long-range based map. Flamer and Flare for support. We also have the VSS in the Trunker. The Junker piloted by James T. Kirk. On the right-hand side, we have a Caro Flamer. Front is a Banshee. And the left-hand side is double Merc.
And for the Glowwater Thralls, we have, once again, the Crown Tyrant, a Pyramidion being piloted by Scrimscraw. It has a Gat Mortar forward setup with a Flamethrower and Flare on the port side. And we have the Requiem for Lucy, a Goldfish being piloted by none other than Fiasco Total. It is a Blender Fish, Carronade on the front with a Flare on the port side, Flamethrower on the starboard.
The Cake folks are sitting out in the middle of the map where they have sight on pretty much everything that's going on. They have been spotted, though. The Requiem for Lucy has been spotted. Crown Tyrant is sitting over in the Rib still. They are not quite active just yet in moving in on the Cake side of things.
In Battle on the Dunes, there is definitely a chance that you can get a snipe down on one of these ships. Requiem for Lucy showing its broadside, but it's just buying time. The Crown Tyrant is out behind the Ribs, and it's turning, and it's moving forward. That's what this Goldfish is. That's all this Goldfish is doing. It's being a major distraction, and these ships are terrified of a Blender Fish, especially that Junker, and that's why they're focusing it down. But the Crown Tyrant is spotted.
Murray is turning, bringing its Mercs to bear. Merc Artemis, rather, to bear.
Look how close they are.
Crown Tyrant. Oh, boy.
Oh, look at that split. Look how close the Glowwater Thralls have managed to get already in the first minute of play. Crown Tyrant coming in in the Trunker. It's eating a little bit of fire, but it's moonshining forward. Armor is at full. Timer's going, though. It wants the ram on in the Trunker. It gets it. It takes out the balloon. This Junker is out of the fight. And the Requiem for Lucy is coming in behind the Murray. It might be able to get the balloon pop as well. First two shots don't quite finish it off. Even with that burst, there we go. Balloon down on the Murray. In the Trunker gets its balloon back up as well. But I think the Glowwater Thralls have the command of this fight.
Absolutely. There was a great blindside by the Crown Tyrant. The Cake team was entirely focused on the Requiem for Lucy that they just were not paying attention to their flanks. And by the time they both got turned and started firing the Crown Tyrant, it was already moving way too fast and was too close to suppress.
Gatling going down on the Murray now. It's having quite a bit of trouble. The In the Trunker is getting flamethrower going on the Crown Tyrant, but the fires are much more under control this time. In the Trunker having a little bit of trouble as this Blenderfish comes in and helps to lock down these two ships. The Murray comes in for a ram, gets some hull damage down on the Lucy, and it pops up down to 2/3 hull.
That was actually pretty good flying on the Murray's part. He was not afraid of that carronade. He knew that his gunners were decent enough to control it while he charged, and he just went right for it. But now the Murray's in a really bad position where Requiem for Lucy and Crown Tyrant are both hitting it. Mortars should be happening. Crown Tyrant going in for the bump.
There's the ram. I think the mortar went down, and so it was there we go, mortar. There's the mortar. It took a minute to get it actually going. In the Trunker, in the meantime, bouncing along the ground, the Requiem for Lucy saying, hey, Crown Tyrant, don't worry, I got this guy. You take care of the Murray. Now the Murray firing out those Merc shots and Artemis shots. It's trying to disable those front guns. Gatling's down. It's buying time. But it's going to run out of room to back up. It's backing up into the Leviathan, and if it turns, that Mercury is going to go out of arc. The Crown Tyrant looks like it is going to finish off the Murray very soon here.
It's definitely not a good position for the Murray. The Murray got turned. Their guns are no longer in arc. They cannot keep disabling it. There it is. Go.
Uppercut and mortar finishes it off. In the meantime, in the Trunker, losing its balloon over and over again. The Lucy is just playing with its food right now. Balloon goes down again. It's going to keep bouncing. That carronade's not going into anything other than the balloon. They're not even worried about disabling anything on this junker. They're just buying time. The Crown Tyrant is turning. However, the Murray spawns in very close.
Watch these arcs. Murray is going to drop down ever so slightly and do their best to take out the carronade on the Requiem for Lucy. Artemis shots are definitely aiming for it, but they did not land appropriately. That carronade is still up. Merc shots, Artemis shots, both still flinging right at the Requiem for Lucy. Good hull shot there from the Merc. They're trying to hit that carronade. They just cannot get it.
Can they? They've damaged it, but it's being kept up pretty nicely. Murray still has Artemis shots. In the Trunker turning the Mercs on the Lucy. There we go. It's armor. They couldn't quite get the hull damage on it. The armor is very quick to come up on the Lucy, and we saw the Artemis was not quite there. In the Trunker, it tried to get shots in on the Lucy, but nothing came of it. And now the Crown Tyrant gets another ram, brings the balloon down all the way, and the Trunker is dropping.
It's so easy.
All it needs is one good moonshine ram. Mm-hmm. That's how this whole engagement started, and it looks like that's how it's continuing. The Crown Tyrant is quickly moving over to the Murray. That balloon comes up very quickly on the In the Trunker, so it can sort of afford to lose it. But it's been taken out just long enough so that the Crown Tyrant can move in on the Murray. Murray burning a little bit of hydrogen. Crown Tyrant not having any of that crap, and it's going to rise up with it.
Crown Tyrant is still taking shots from the Murray, but Murray is quickly approaching the trade winds, and Requiem for Lucy has come in behind the In the Trunker. It's continuously losing its balloon. It's going to ground out here. Requiem for Lucy has such easy control over a junker in this situation. I think it may be a bit of a mismatch scenario. I'm getting excited.
Requiem for Lucy is getting annoyed. It's going for a bump now. There we go. Right into the dunes. Again, hull value on a junker, very, very low. 2-0 in favor of the Thralls. This is what we expected from the Thralls in the first match, I think.
The heavy carronade in this situation has such good balloon piercing. It absolutely rips balloons apart.
Ooh, armor's down. Murray taking hull damage. A couple of those mortars go wide. It's going to buy the Murray just a little bit of time. It's burning hydrogen again, but it loses its balloon. Who was that? I think Requiem for Lucy actually did finish it off. It did.
Possibly.
Gatling going down on the Murray now. Armor's not looking great. Its components are fine, but none of that matters if your ship gets destroyed. Where are the mortars? Nowhere. There we go. Armor's down again. Mortar is sniping him out.
The In the Trunker has held off on spawning in
Smart.
until the Murray went down. They want to reset the engagement, which is probably the best decision they could have made in this situation. Right now, Requiem for Lucy and Crown Tyrant are both kind of sitting out in the open. They do have the engine, the destroyed engine for cover, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be tough. The Glowwater Thralls have been fighting to get into the cake spawn this whole game. I mean, that was their plan. That's been their plan this whole best of 3. First game didn't work out so well. Second game worked out perfectly. Third game, we're 3-0. The Glowwater Thralls look to have a very strong handle on this, and it looks like round 3 coming out. They're charging forward.
Ooh.
Cake has put themselves in a corner, just trying to stay away from the Thralls, but the Thralls are going to be able to use the ribs to close distance. Plus, Cake's in a cloud. They're not going to be able to see the Thralls coming in. You see the Thralls, they're just like, you know what? I'll bet we know where Cake spawned. I mean, there's only one spot that they could have spawned, off in E1.
They're definitely moving in very quickly on where the Cakes have positioned themselves, already passing through the ribs. I can't talk today for some reason. The Requiem for Lucy is out in front. That heavy carronade going to be doing the initial onslaught with a Crown Tyrant just a little bit behind. Probably the best formation they could be in right now.
Look at this. The Lucy is going to be able to completely close distance on the Trunker unless a flare comes out, but there is none. In the Trunker, going to get sideswiped by the Lucy. Lucy doesn't even know where these ships are. It's going to pop out of these clouds, and it's going to be fed a Junker on a silver platter.
I do believe the Cake saw something. I think the Cake saw something. They're turning to try to figure out what's going on.
Like, they have to expect it at this point. Like, where else could they really be coming in from? Like, they don't see them off to the west. They, like, to the north, like, to the northwest and to the north. That's the only place they could come from, is in this
flares out.
Cloud. There it is. Spots come out. It's now or never for Cake. Requiem for Lucy charging in on the Trunker. The Murray is going to rise up to try and block it. It's gonna work, but it. Oh my God! What? That uppercut completely pushed him off, and now the Crown Tyrant is all alone. Wow! What just happened?
Instant replay!
What?
Crown Tyrant, though, it gets the gap border on the Murray. The Murray's down. Crown Tyrant, it has chem spray. It's doing okay. Flamer comes out, but it only lights one gun on fire. And the Trunker is in a lot of trouble. Requiem for Lucy spawns up in E5, and it is going to burn kerosene to try and get across to help its ally, the Crown Tyrant.
I don't think Glowwater Thralls need to play this desperate. They're already in a very solid winning position. Murray has spawned back in, and the Trunker is going to have great spots for it. I think Requiem for Lucy charging in right now may not be the best idea for it, considering the great arcs Murray has on the Crown Tyrant.
In the Trunker, trying to make something happen on it. Merc coming out from the Murray. Arm is not looking great on this Pyramidian. They're targeting the engines. Other engine down. Look at those Merc shots on the engines. One turning engine is up, but all it's going to do is show the broadside of the Crown Tyrant. Requiem for Lucy, though, coming in hard. It's been burning hard for this moment, and it gets the ram. Balloon almost goes down. There it goes. Balloon down on the Trunker, but it throws the arcs out for Requiem for Lucy. The Murray has a moment here to try and take down the Tyrant, or at least put a lot of hull damage on it, but the shots are going wide. Requiem for Lucy switching targets to the Murray, trying to disable those guns, but it doesn't have heavy clip in there. Yes, it does. Now it does.
It does. I'm just not sure that's the best choice for Requiem for Lucy. The Glowwater Thralls only need one more kill. Even if Murray kept the Crown Tyrant disabled, Requiem for Lucy has the kill power, considering the bumps and the rams we've seen, to take out the Trunker. It gets it on the ground extremely. Oh, I see what they're doing. That's going to ground out on top of the ribs.
Big mistake.
Oh, but the arcs for the Mercs on the Trunker were perfect. They take out the heavy carronade.
Just barely, but now the Crown Tyrant is coming down on the Murray. The only way that the in the Trunker can be saved is if the Murray switches targets, but you can't switch targets off of a meta Midian. Balloon down on the in the Trunker. Once again, it's going to come up very quickly. Requiem for Lucy dropping down, throwing out Flamethrower onto that Junker, and now the Crown Tyrant switching over to the Murray. Can they disable the Mortar? Gatling goes down, and the armor is still holding on the Murray. It's bought itself time, but bought time for what? Requiem for Lucy is bouncing in the Trunker on the ground, and it's losing armor. Its engines are burning. This Junker is in far too much trouble, and the Murray is at the mercy of the Crown Tyrant.
Crown Tyrant bouncing the Murray around just a bit. Fox needs to go above the ribs here. They bounce. Oh my God.
There it is. Glowwater Thralls take it.
Ooh.
They win this best of 3, 2-1. Cake looked very strong going into it, but the Glowwater Thralls looked like they just needed to warm up, and they got the flanks that they needed all along. This is one of the only teams that has enough confidence to try and meet grind in an enemy spawn.
Glowwater Thralls are an expert team. They fought very well, and Cake did extremely well, considering they were actually missing quite a few of the regular crew. Overwatch kind enough to step in this situation. Cake did the best they can, but again, when you miss some of your crew and you go up against the Glowwater Thralls, especially when they just want to brawl the crap out of you with sniping builds, it's a very tough situation.
I think a lot of that was the biggest part of that was the tactics that these teams were using. The way that the Glowwater Thralls, like they made mistakes in the first game, in their flanks trying to come in, and they just didn't make those mistakes in the second game. They used the clouds to their advantage much more than in the first game. In the first game, it looked like they just kind of charged in, and you can't do that with the Mobula. They switched it up. I think they played excellently in the second and third games. Cake did very well as well, but the Thralls are just so comfortable fighting in the enemy team spawn.
Still a very, very exciting matchup here. Now we're going to go to a quick timeout, folks. Don't go anywhere, though. Just a very short break while we get set up for Ryder versus Glowwater Thrall. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to take a quick timeout and then have that series for you. You're watching the Hephaestus Challenge Gold League. We are in the finals right here on robandan.tv/live.